Variable traders, Brendon D here giving a recap due to popular demand. I said if I was green for the day, I would give a recap. So here we are looking at JWN. Honestly, I think giving these recaps may help me think the trades afterwards, because you might be too upset or too lazy to look at your trades after hours and put them in your trading log and figure out what you really did. But when you give a recap, it really makes you think about it. So let's take a look at JWN now. Rob mentioned this in chat. I think he got stopped out of it too and said it was just chop, but I didn't listen. And it was chop. Opening range, huge wicks, bigger than real body, not ready for quite a while. Huge second 5-minute candle, big real body, big wicks, no clear direction. Third candle, a slightly bullish, higher lows like that, close above VWAP like that. But then again, I mean, the thing could be chopping around, and when I have tight stops, and I do because I just that's my new approach, is just having tighter stops, get confirmation before you enter a trade. And this is not confirmation, this is just chopping up and down. So I really have to kind of adjust to what I see and adjust to my trading style to what I have to wait for less volatile stocks to really to work themselves out before I jump in. And I just got stopped out there. I thought there was a bottom here, went long, but it still chopped around. It was making lower highs on the 15-minute, closing below VWAP every time, and I went long here thinking, okay, it might be reversing here, but it closed below VWAP so much that wasn't ready for a reversal. That's not really a reversal in it. That wasn't much. They weren't great trades. It broke the support here, just went down and ripped down. So I'm not happy about that, but I did watch it later. I didn't give up. Saw volume coming in. Saw a reversal, booster, engulfing candle, great. However, on the 15-minute, it wasn't confirmed just yet. It still could be catching a falling knife. This might just be a quick pullback to the 9 on the 5 or something like that. It wasn't quite ready yet. And a professional trader probably would have waited at least another 15 minutes, maybe making a new high after that bearish candle right here, and would have taken it long there. That probably would have been a much better setup. I was just kind of rushing it a little bit. It did work out, maybe, you know, because this candle looked really nice, had high volume. It was really good, kind of from the bottom here. But really, a professional would have waited for this type of approach. And also, a professional trader would not worry about their P&L and would have scaled out at the 20, the VWAP in the 50s on the 5-minute. And especially on the 20 on the 15-minute, that's a huge pullback, and I made a huge reversal there. The thing was, I just try to build my account, and I'm not thinking the trades. I really have to change my approach and scale out. You know, forget your P&L, move your stop to break even, scale out on the way up, and lock in profits so you could survive a pullback that breaks the 9 and the 20 on the 5, and you're not worried about that because you're already locked in profits. But I was worried. I got out everything, gave back 2/3, and it even broke the 9 on the 15. It wasn't bad to get out. It was just poor decision to not scale out on the back and have a little bit left here. That let's just hold it for an unusual pullback. You break even, still way down here. You got a little bit more room for it to fall. And probably could have continued to ride it back up and catch this pop at the end of the day if you really held it. So a lesson there is to don't look at your P&L, scale out on the way up, and to move your stop, and you'll catch better trade. It's better trading that way, not to ride it out. And I mean, if you're gonna ride it up, you better be prepared to get rid of it all over here, and don't be stubborn and say, oh, it can make, it could touch previous day low. So you really have to change your approach and whatever works for you. So I'm probably gonna do the scaling out and moving my stop and just kind of work out better trading than P&L. So let's take a quick look at MTSL. I know Fernando traded that great in the morning, and I don't really touch penny stocks anymore, but I was thinking which stock can get me out of the red today, so I could do a recap for you guys. And I said, okay, MTSL, everyone's stock tweeting about this and everything. So took smaller size, was about half the size, or I think a third the size of what I took in JWN, so wasn't too worried about getting crushed in my account. So what I immediately looked at was a 15-minute. I saw a base here and a base here and said, okay, so I didn't love this candle here. This is heavy selling, so I don't know how much it's gonna pop anymore. But I did like this consolidation. Thought, you know, what the hell? Let's give it a let's go long a VWAP here, and you know, after 2 bases or enough confirmation that maybe I can get to 280, and we can take a quick look on the 1 minute. Where is it? Where's it? Yep, right here. So. So the 1 minute, I like these targets up here around 270, 280. Thought, you know, I could probably spike up there and we can call it a day. But it's just, you know, the chop on the way up is just brutal. It's not what I'm used to in higher float stocks, and it did work out. I said, you know, I couldn't sell here. It was way too quick. Said, you know, this is close enough. We're close enough to that level that it's just, that's enough for me. I broke green for the day and called it quits. And I mean, look at that. I mean, who can survive a drop like that? That is just, it's just monstrous. And this, I mean, what is this? Some slight volume coming in here that confirms that it's gonna pop like this. I mean, this is just, that's just lunacy. This doesn't look like, I mean, support on the 200, sure, but I mean, it could support there and crack it. I mean, who would I don't know. It's just, it's wild. But here we saw 2 bases, close above VU up on a 5 minute, and the close above VU up on the 15. So that's why I took it to the long side. But sometimes it's just, they act crazy. They're out of my league, and I wouldn't recommend it. But after a couple losses and that upsetting trade on JWN, sometimes you do things that don't make perfect sense. But I still had enough sense that I waited for a few signals. I was able to pull it together on a penny stock low float, but. Not something I enjoy doing, and probably have to wait for stocks to settle down if I'm having such tight stops. 0.5% moves. Really have to wait for stocks to find a clear direction, or be prepared to take 2 or 3 or 4 stops before you find direction, and to scale out to lock in your profits and execute the trade better. So anyway, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.